Okay, so we're doing one-step multiplication equations. We're going to do the examples. Then we're going to leave you to do the assignments. So we're writing down the equation. -7 times b equals -35. So what we're saying is -7 times some number equals -35. You can even do this in your head, guys. So I want you to think, if I multiply -7 times something and the answer is -35, what does that number have to be? -7 times what equals -35? 5. It has to be +5. Let's see how we get that answer. This is the part I need you to understand and be able to do, guys. This is a multiplication equation, so we're going to do the inverse, the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So what do we divide on both sides by? Well, we have to eliminate the -7. Everyone's saying 7. But let's think. If I do -35 divided by 7, do I get 5 or -5? So it can't be 7, it has to be -7. Here's why. I need you to understand this. What's -7 divided by -7? 1. So I'm going to go through all the brutal steps. We're only going to do this once so you see why this works. Eyes up here, guys. -7 divided by -7 is 1. And we're going to multiply that 1 times b, right? That's going to be b. I end up with -7 divided by -7 is 1 times b. And 1b is just b. So here's the moral of the story. Look at your coefficient. The coefficient is the number multiplying the variable. Remember we said that? Whatever your coefficient is, that is the number you divide by. If it's positive, then you divide by a positive. If it's a negative, then you divide by a negative. Okay? All right. So now that we know that, we can go quickly, I think. Okay. Oh, I made a mistake here, though. It should be +5. I don't know why I put the negative. My mistake. I apologize. We actually want a 5 here. Okay, so let's go a little quicker. Let's go example 2 now. You guys ready? So this equation is -14 equals 7 times n, 7n. It's reversed, right? We're used to seeing the variable on the left. Is that okay that it's on the right? Yeah, doesn't matter. Do you want to solve it that way or flip the equation? Solve it that way. I'm okay with that. So it's multiplying. I want to do the opposite of multiplying. That's dividing. What do I divide by?
2.
Well, what's the coefficient? What's the coefficient? What's the number being multiplied with a variable? 7. That's what I divide by. Look at the number that's multiplied with a variable. Divide by that. Each and every time. Because we're in that same situation. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And 1n becomes just n. So all we have to do is just cancel it at that point. Just say it's gone. It becomes a 1. It cancels. On the other side, I got -14 divided by 7. There's my answer. If you don't like it that way, write it that way. But it's -2. Okay? Simple as that. Okay, I think we have, just back out to see. Yeah, we got 2 more examples on this end. Then we'll explore when we have something a little different. Example 3. Let's go to example 3. Okay. -8 multiplied by t equals -48. Okay. So here's my first question. -8t equals -48. What is my coefficient?
8.
-8. -8. So guess what I'm going to divide by?
8.
negative 8. That very exact same number down to the sign. Because negative 8 divided by negative 8 is 1. And ultimately, I want a 1 there. And then I just end up with t equals negative 48 divided by negative 8.
Negative 6. No, 6.
6. Yeah, remember, negative divided negative is positive, so we want a 6 here. Okay. Alrighty. One more of these. Try this one on your own. So the equation, by the way, if you want to rewrite it this way, it's a little sloppy on my end. If you want to write it this way, you can. Just if you're more comfortable with variable on the left. Once we start going to inequalities, just so you know, you are very much going to want your variable on the left at all times. But we're doing equations for the moment. It doesn't have to be. Okay? All right. So, what answer are we coming up with? Did someone raise their hand and tell us? What? 6. All righty. Let me double check. Hopefully this is what you did. And negative divided by negative is a positive 6. All right, perfect. Now, let's go to example 5. These are going to be a little different, guys. I want us to cover these as well. I know you're probably deep into trying to get this done. You will. But everyone go to example 5, please. These are going to be different kinds of answers. In fact, they're going to be fractional answers.
Yes.
Okay? So I want us to be, remember, when we divide, sometimes we get decimals and fractions. We want to, you must write your answer in fully simplified form. It could be an improper fraction. It can be an improper fraction, guys, but it has to be fully simplified. Okay? So if I have 2 equals 3y, can someone tell me a different way of writing it that's a little more comfortable? Yes?
3y equals 2.
Sure. I like it this way better. Okay, so knowing what we know, we're going to divide by what?
2.
What's the coefficient? 3. Look for the variable. The variable always tells you what you have to eliminate. You got to get rid of the 3, so the coefficient's 3, divide by that. Okay? What's my answer? What's my final answer? Well, what do I have here? 2/3. Can I simplify 2/3?
No.
2/3 it is. Is it okay that our answer is a fraction?
Yeah.
That's life sometimes, right? Sometimes life hands you fractions. So 2 slash, press the slash key, not the slash 3. You see how the slash gives you the denominator? Write it as 2/3. Okay? Let's see. Submit. C. Oh, submit. What happened? Okay. Let's try example 6. You guys ready? 8r equals 16. What's my answer going to be here?
2.
2. Okay. So 2 it is. That one's not too bad. Let's try number 7. Negative 3 multiplied by A is negative 7. Okay. Guys, I want you to follow along. Please write this one down. Make sure you have it, so you know what to look out for, and you have it as a model. It's a multiplication equation. Let's identify our coefficient. What's the coefficient number here? Negative 3. Look for your variable, the number that's multiplied with that. This is our coefficient. So that's what we divide by. Negative 3. Okay. A equals, well, I got negative 7 over negative 3. Obviously, 3 does not divide evenly into 7. So we'll leave it as a fraction. But what is my final answer? 7/3 positive, yes. We're using the rule that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. That's an improper fraction, right? I could say 2 1/3, but 7/3 is good enough.
Wait, would 2 1/3 be considered wrong or correct?
I don't think you can even enter it in. It usually has a tool, right? To enter in that way.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You got it wrong.
7/3. So that's the part I wanted to tell you. If you get an improper fraction, check the signs, because if we would have said negative, negative, I'm sure that would have given you a mistake. And if you try to write it as a mixed number. So improper fractions are perfectly fine here. In fact, that's the only way you can enter them. Okay. And when we start talking about slopes, that's the only way we want to think of it.
Wait, what if you got it wrong because you placed 2 1/3?
I think you get 2 chances at it, right? It gives you 2 opportunities, so.
That one didn't quite give me.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's just more for example. All right. So, negative 18 equals negative 12a. Let's all write this down. Let's all do this one. What's another way of writing this? Yes. Yeah, just turn it around. I like to work with it this way. Now we have to divide. I'm going to divide by my coefficient, which is negative 12. There it is. This will cancel. I'm left with just a on the left side of the equation. I have negative 18 over negative 12. First of all, it's a negative divided by a negative. What does that make?
Positive.
So I know my answer is going to be positive. Second of all, 18/12. Can I just leave it as 18/12? I could simplify. What can I divide out of 18 and 12? 6. Look for the greatest common factor. So this is going to be 3 halves. 3 halves. Remember, simplified, fully simplified. All right. Okay, folks, so this is what we're going to do today. And if you haven't finished the assignment from yesterday, make sure you finish that. Any questions? Okay. So tomorrow we'll tackle dividing, which if you thought this had fractions, oh boy. Wait till tomorrow.